I love me some petty revenge. So here's some petty revenge stories from Reddit. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Suddenly stop talking to me when you owe me money after years of friendship. Enjoy losing the trust of your childhood best friend who you gossip to me about. This literally happened 20 minutes ago, so it's pretty fresh. I'm a dude, if that matters. Thank you for the context. About 7 or so years ago, I met a gal through mutual friend. She was very special. She and I grew very close even when I moved away, and I considered her one of my best friends. Recently, she had asked me for money. Not a lot, but I gave her a bit. About 3 to 4 months ago, she got a boyfriend. Let's call him Michael. I've never met the guy in person, but ever since that, she's been increasingly cold to me. That's probably because she told Michael about you and Michael doesn't like her talking to you. To the point where she didn't reply to my happy birthday message after 2 months of not talking. She was generally cold towards me. Even though I hadn't done anything to her, we never argued. Yesterday, she blocked me out of the blue. No response, nothing. Her friend thinks it was her boyfriend that blocked me and not her. I guess that makes sense, but I'm not sure. But by now, she is such a different person that it didn't really matter. I would have let this go, except I learned through that same friend that she had been bad-mouthing me for months. Here's where the petty revenge happened. She has a friend, another girl named Liza, who she constantly tells me is her bestie, and like Liza, despite us never being close. Today, I DM'd Liza, and Liza casually mentioned she thought this boyfriend was manipulative, and I decided to casually tell her some of the things and specific details that my former friend had told me about this girl's dating and personal life that I couldn't have possibly known otherwise and never asked about. Is this petty? Yes. Yes, it is, but you can't take money from someone and then just block them without saying a word. I get it. It's rude. You lent her money. She asked you for money. You lent her the money and then she blocked you. I think the boyfriend told her to have no contact with you, and then when he saw your happy birthday message pop up, he went, oh, no, block, and whatever. Telling a friend that she spoke bad things about her, I would have done the same thing. Her friend deserves to know what kind of friend she actually has. It is her boyfriend. Some will isolate and manipulate someone into thinking they don't need that person until suddenly the victim has no one to turn to. The thing is, she doesn't even realize what he's doing right now. When she finally realizes what he's doing and she really needs help to get away from him, she will have no one to turn to, nowhere to go, and no way out, because the boyfriend has done that to her. If you've known her a long time and this is out of character, there's a pretty good chance she's in a controlling relationship with a guy who won't allow her male friends or access to money without questions. She might have needed to downplay your relationship to stay safe. Try not to go scorched earth when her friends are indicating that she needs help. She probably never saw your birthday message. Her controlling boyfriend probably read and deleted it. Then he blocked you. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Don't go burning any bridges, but definitely be there for her when she needs you, because she will need you at some point in her life. She will get out of this relationship that is just doing her no justice at all, and she's going to need friends. So just be there for her when she does come to the realization what this person is like. Intentionally annoy me. Enjoy your random alarms. So my ex used to intentionally irritate me by doing things I told him bothered me. Ooh, red flag, dolls, red flag. I would tell him that I'm tired and I just want to lay down, but would he listen? Nope. He'd come in and start talking to me about his random work friend's new STD or his video game buddy's new haircut. I have seizures and he would make jokes about that. Oh, wow, I can see why he's an ex. And he needs to definitely stay that way. He called me spaz or dork or whatever. I finally got tired of it, so I started setting random alarms on our Alexa. Started at 8 p.m. Then I'd do one at 9 p.m., 11 p.m., 3 a.m., etc. I'd just be walking out the door and ask Alexa to set an alarm for whatever time. He got so ticked off at one point that he called his cousin for help. It was the most hilarious thing ever. I eventually started setting it for every half hour when he was home. He got so agitated that he unplugged it. He never found out that it was me. I don't think it even occurred to him that you could do that. We broke up a month later because he tried to sell my dog. What? That was the point? I mean, I get it. I would also do the same thing if someone tried to sell my dog, because my dog is my everything and I will do anything for her. She is my child, but calling you names before that, making fun of your seizures, not listening to you, that didn't raise any red flags for you to break up with him. But he tried to sell your dog. What? No. What a horrible human being. By the way, she doesn't regret anything. That was the last line. I don't regret anything. This is genius. I'm glad you're rid of that jerk. I'd set the alarms for random times. Don't do it for the top of the hour or the half hour. Make it like 1:19, 4:51, 10:17, 11:43, 12:22, 2:36, etc. If you have it at normal times, he'll tense up at those times as those times approach. By doing random times, he'll never know when the next one might be coming and he'll be caught off guard. It would be better if you could use a different alarm for each one. Rotate through ringing bells, klaxon, radar, etc. Make him loony. Make him loony. I honestly would have set alarms for like, I would have done a chunk for every minute. And then I would pause it for an hour or two, lull him into a sense of, calmness, and then hit him again with every 5 minutes. Then give him another break, make it a little bit longer, and then hit him with every couple of minutes. I would really mess with his mind. I am so petty though. If you need any ideas, come at me. He tried to sell my dog. I'd be catching charges for the violence that would ensue. Oh, 100%. Me too. Me too. Do not mess with my dog. I'm glad you are rid of him, girl, and I hope that you have a better relationship if you are in one now, or get into a better relationship. But that boy, and he's a boy, not a man, was full of red flags. But I'm glad that you got rid of him. Revenge against the couple who stole our spot on vacation. Wife and I were on vacation at a Caribbean resort. It wasn't very crowded. We picked out a couple of nice lounges and spent most of the week there, no issues. Another couple showed up a few days before we were scheduled to leave. Wife caught them looking at us a few times over a couple of days. Our last morning, they put their stuff on our lounges before we got there, then didn't show up until noon. The spot was nice because it was in the shade when it got hot, and it was close to the bar. We found another spot. Later, after they arrived and we saw who it was, my wife said they stole our spot on purpose. Confirmed when my wife was in the water and saw them walk by me in our new, less awesome spot. They looked at me and started laughing. We were leaving the next day. We went down very early, spread fresh towels on the lounges, put fresh folded towels down, and left our leftover suntan lotion and our inflatable floats on the lounges. Hope they spent all day waiting to see who stole their spots. What happened prior to this to make them feel like they needed to do that and to be petty like that to you? Obviously something happened if they were walking past and started laughing. So they obviously had a grudge against you for whatever reason. If they get there first, then who cares? If they're leaving stuff on the chair, that's annoying. Use the spot or remove your stuff. In a public place like that, you can't just put stuff down and go away and not let other people use that spot. It just doesn't work that way in a public space. You just can't save spots for later in the day. Like, it's a public spot. Anyone can use those at any time. You cannot say that somebody else can't because you're going to be down there 2 hours after they are and it's prime spot. I would have just moved their stuff. If no one else was around, I would have moved their stuff, put it on other lounges or just on the floor and just taken that spot regardless, because it's rude. It is rude to do that. But that's my opinion. And that's my opinion, as if it really matters. But this is my channel and I can say whatever I want and I can voice my opinion however I like, and you can't tell me any different. But if you are enjoying this video, please do like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Tell me that my opinion is wrong. That's fine. Friend's sister threw poop at my car. You right? You done? You good? Still going? Still going? Still going, baby? Friend's sister threw poop at my car. This was around 2005. I was swinging by a buddy's house one hot summer weekend day. I'd known Aaron for 10 or 11 years and we were pretty solid friends at the time. He had an older sister and we'd never really seen eye to eye. Tanya and Aaron still lived at their mum's place despite being 27 and 24 years old. Nothing wrong with that, especially, well, maybe not in 2005, but in 2025, stay living with your parents for as long as you can. It doesn't matter if you're 27, it doesn't matter if you're 24. It is expensive out there these days, and in 2005 it was also expensive. So just, you know, we weren't in quite the cost of living situation that we currently are now. But it doesn't matter if you're 27 or 24. Stay with your parents, honestly. So much cheaper. Save, 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 because you need those savings. I've never been too fond of dogs in general, and the dogs they had living here were never too fond of me either, it seemed. Dogs are really good judges of character. So if they don't like you, there's something about you that they know. They know. Anyway, as I was pulling up, I see Tanya, almost home from walking her Jack Russell, carrying a tied off baggie of dog poop. Jack Russell, they're, attitudes. They're full on and they have attitudes, but love them. I love all dogs. I'm a big dog fan. She walks past my car before I exit it and throws a bag of poop on my windshield. Needless to say, this did not impress me. Wouldn't impress me either. Once out of my car, I picked up the bag and looked around for some place to put it. I saw Tanya's car with its sunroof cracked open to mitigate the heat buildup from being parked in direct sunlight. I returned to her the baggie of poop by dropping it in the cracked open sunroof onto the passenger seat. I then proceeded inside to have a few beers with my friend, not mentioning to anyone what I had done. Tanya had a little triumphant smirk on her face when I came inside the house with my six-pack. I ignored her, chilled out for a few hours, had beers and played some video games with Aaron and left. I mean, I'd have returned it as well. I mean, it was hers. It was her dog's and it was hers. It came from her hand in the first place. So honestly, I would have returned it as well to her. You just did the right thing. I was over there a day or two later and laughed in Tanya's face when she told me she was selling the car and the hot bag of poop sitting in it for hours had cooked to aromatic perfection and was discovered when she was showing the vehicle. I think it was like a 99 prelude to an interested party. He didn't buy it. No surprise, she never threw poop at my car again. Lesson learned for Tanya. Be hard to sell a car after that poop had been sitting in there and festering for a couple of days in the heat. Oh, I don't even want to think about what that would have smelled like. A fresh poop smells bad enough, but a 2 or 3 day old poop, gross. No thank you. No thank you. You were just returning her gift. OP, yeah, she dropped something. I just wanted to see that she found it again. Exactly. Love it. That was the ultimate petty revenge. That was so good. I caught a bad driver's company. I was driving down the motorway with my family. I was a passenger and the car beside us swerved suddenly. My mother had to also swerve to avoid a collision and accidentally cut across the guy in the van behind us. The guy behind us then veers out into the lane beside us. Speeds up so he's level with our window, one hand on the wheel and the other making obscene gestures as he's clearly shouting. He isn't paying attention to the road at all. My mother flips him off in return and tries to slow so he goes ahead, but then he slows his van so he can continue gesturing and shouting after swerving all over the lane. He finally speeds off ahead. The thing is, this van was a company van. It always is a company van, honestly. It had the name and logo on the side, so I took a photo of his license plate and called the company. I told the woman who answered the phone, I just want to inform you that I'm driving down the motorway and the man driving one of your company vans with the registration is driving extremely aggressively and dangerously. She thanked me for informing her, made a note of the license plate and told me that the incident would be investigated. Hope he enjoys his disciplinary. ETA, LMAO at the people who are accusing me of being a Karen. I want to reiterate that the one reason my mother cut the guy off in the van was because a different car swerved suddenly from their lane into ours and would have hit us if she hadn't swerved as well to avoid them. She also only flipped the van driver off because he was already being aggressive. The reason I called was primarily because it was raining heavily and his reckless and aggressive driving could have caused a serious accident. The road was slippery and there was bad visibility. If someone had come up behind him when he suddenly hit the brakes to come back level with us, they would have gone right into him and not been able to slow or stop in time. I actually don't think you needed to explain anything. I don't think you were being a Karen. I think you were doing everyone that was on the road or potentially going to be on the road with him in the future you did everybody a favor. And honestly, if he's driving a company car, the company needs to know that their drivers are driving erratically and are being quite aggressive with their vehicles, because if something was to happen, then he could blame the other drivers. When you're driving a company car, you're in charge of somebody else's vehicle, and I wouldn't like to know that somebody was driving that way in my car. So I don't think that you did anything wrong. I think you did the right thing, and I don't think you were being a Karen, and you don't need to explain yourself. There are so many terrible drivers out there on the road that you don't need another one. And if you can stop another one from being on the road, then I think you should do it, because honestly, every day out there on the road is a gamble. Absolute gamble, like terrible. Every day I encounter somebody. Like, I was driving to work yesterday morning at 4 a.m., mind you, and I was on the highway, and down flies past me a Porsche. Just flies past me, like came out of nowhere. I was sitting on 105 in 100 zone, and he just flew past me. I didn't see him for dust. That's the level of drivers that you deal with every day. And that was at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I half expected to see him like in a ditch later down the road, because he's lost like control. Oh, and the roads were wet because it had been raining. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. I think we have time for one more petty revenge story. Shared workspace pettiness. At the office, our workspace is subdivided into cubicles, sitting 4 desks each, so I share a cubicle with 4 co-workers. We get to work from home for 1 week each month. I promise this is relevant. Okay. Last week, 2 of my co-workers were work from home, and I had the displeasure of working alone with a guy named Eli. Eli is loud and chatty. Too chatty. That'd be me if I worked in a little office and a cubicle space. I also am very chatty. That's why I do this channel, because I do like to have a good old chat. Although there are times when I just like my quiet, my peace and quiet. Like, I host karaoke once a week, and I'm a music bingo host. So I'm around people like 5 days a week, playing music, listening to terrible singers, and literally after karaoke in particular, at midnight, I will get in my car, no music, no sound, nothing playing, just quiet, because I just need that quietness. But I also do like to have a chat. Honestly. I told him that I don't like this, and he at least left me alone. He, however, has a lot of friends who come to work in our cubicle whenever the others are away. I have no issues with this other than they make a lot of noise, gossiping and talking. It's disruptive. I've told him to pipe it down, but to no avail. Okay. I get it's annoying, but there are these things called earplugs. And Loop does some really good earplugs that will reduce that noise, or help reduce that noise. There's also noise cancelling headphones. If you don't have any of those, you probably should invest in those. I love my noise cancelling headphones. I also do love my Loop earplugs as well, and I've got a few sets of those for different things. So I would definitely suggest, if you haven't already, investing in some of those, or a good pair of noise cancelling headphones work a treat as well. Then you don't have to listen to them at all. From where I'm from, in a professional setting, it's an unspoken rule to use official languages in the workplace, but he'll constantly use his mother tongue. Even when I ask about work, he'll answer, then speak to his friends in his dialect and laugh. Y'all see my point? Okay, so you don't know what he's saying and that bothers you because you don't know if he's making fun of you. That's what I get from that. I had enough and thought of singing to distract myself. I love Billy Ocean, so I started singing along to Caribbean Queen using my headphones. I sang as loud as I could without disrupting the rest of the office, so Eli didn't like it. He tells me to stop. I don't. Next song comes and I sing along. He now gets mad. I pause and tell him that as long as he'll be loud, I'll keep singing. He didn't speak for the rest of the day, and when he and his friends did, he kept it at a reasonable volume. I'm not in the office this week, but I hope he keeps it up next week. I didn't feel the need to go to HR because ours is pretty much unhelpful. English is not my first language. Forgive any error. Share that with your co-workers and have a whole playlist synced when he is in the office, so everyone does it to him and his buddies. If he understands English, maybe a little Weird Al Yankovic, then bounce between offbeat songs and anything that gets repetitive. Baby Shark, another one rides the bus, 99 bottles of beer, some 80, 90 bubblegum hits, K-pop, etc., etc. I would sing the song that never ends because it never ends and it is the most annoying song that you will ever find. Tell me I'm wrong. Hit me up in the comments with something that is worse than the song that never ends. But also invest in some noise cancelling headphones. That'll work as well. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed those petty revenge stories. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really would appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.